welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. The NBA Bit. Was adjusting some microphone settings, so hopefully this sounds crisp and clear to everyone. And if it doesn't, let me know in the chat immediately. We got a busy day today. We are officially in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? We had 8 games, 4 on Saturday, 4 on Sunday. We got 2 more again tonight. We got some busy stuff going on, and it's going to be busy content-wise, too. That's right. So NBA Bit this week, Monday through Friday, all right? Every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern. Today, right after the show ends, we got to talk some SORARE MLB. We'll be on the Elite Fantasy Sports channel at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m., we'll be there. And then again at 3 p.m. for SORARE NBA. And then we got some other breaking news. We're going to be doing a little bit of Hoop Sense, at 5 p.m. On the Count the Dings YouTube channel. So that's just a ton of content, And then I'm sure we'll be on playback as well, because we've got Detroit and New York for Game 2. We also have Denver Clippers Game 2. A lot of Pope comments. Yeah, R.I.P. the Pope. J.D. Vance, a straight killer. Who do we got in the chat here? We got Sneeps. Good morning. Good morning. Happy birthday to former Longhorn and Cavs 1-0 legend, Jared Allen. It's National Kindergarten Day. Thank you, Snoopaloop. That's important stuff. We got Boston Base not being helpful. Stubbs in here, fresh off the Cavalanche last night. It's good stuff. Also, shout out to everybody who participated in Splash Sports over the weekend. That was a fun one. Hate to break it to the casuals out there, but on our first ever guaranteed contest of Splash Sports, your boy took it down, all right? So I need everybody to get in the gym, maybe get in on Ozempic, maybe start taking some HGH, okay? Because you need to come at my level, all right? Because we're out here just crushing on Splash Sports. We got another contest today. Should be a fun one. What is the matter with you, Boston Base? Really need to crap. What monitor are you talking about? What monitor are you seeing that is a problem for you right now? Oh, that over there. That's not a monitor. If that's what you're talking about, that is not a monitor. That is that's for the internet. But thank you again for your useless stuff. Love to see it. What computer screen are you talking about? Just what a dumbass, Boston Base. Just, I need you. Come on, man. Did 420? Was it too aggressive of a 420 for you this morning? All right, let's go. Let's get into it. We're going to go. We're going to hit every series, baby. We're going to hit every single series. It's going to be fun. Let's start with the late night stuff, because I don't know how many people stayed awake last night. All right. We had the Houston Rockets taking on the Golden State Warriors, and this was a weird-ass game. All right. This was a tough one. Just a confusing one to even break down, honestly, because you had the tale of two halves where Houston, you see this, man, they scored 21 points in the first quarter, 13 points in the second quarter. You can't score 13 points in a playoff game and expect to win. However, Houston did have themselves a shot at it late. I just want to say, man, Steph Curry, I think we all spent a week or so being like, are we sure Steph's even that good? Because prayers up. Ahmed Thompson got to have him in the clampies. Steph's insane, man. And I think one of so Golden State ends up winning by 10. And what we saw in the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter was just this wild Houston defense that brought the clampies out and made things really, really difficult. And honestly, if Houston got any sort of guard play, literally any guard play from Jalen Green, from Fred VanVleet, man, whatever that gif is, I don't even know what it's from. Is it Drewski? Just chucking bricks against the backboard. That's what we were seeing from Fred VanVleet last night. And I was holding out some hope. I was like, listen, Fred was definitely a little rusty this season. However, he brings some calm, some coolness to the offense when they get into that half court set. But what it ended up being was it was possession after possession. Fred VanVleet would have the ball with 5 seconds left. And he's like, all right, I guess this is getting up there. And he just could not get anything to fall. And if they had any sort of semblance of an offense last night, Houston wins this game, I think. I don't want to overreact too much here, because I still think Houston figured some stuff out in the second half defensively. And I honestly, and again, I don't know how many people stayed awake, but they had this run where they had Steven Adams in over Sengun, and Sengun had a great game. I thought he was really good, so I don't even want to turn this into a dunking on Sengun. Also, he postered Draymond in the first quarter, which was really, really good stuff. But I don't even want to. I'm not dunking on Sengun at all, but like Steven Adams was doing some just real physicality down there. They were rebounding the hell out of the ball, and it just seemed like the switch was starting to flip, but they dug themselves too much of a hole. Again, only scoring, what was it, 34 points? No, that can't be right. Was it really 34 points in the first half? Like, that's going to happen, all right? If you score 34, you're going to lose the game. But Steph Curry hit, man, just like, so he hits that three that honestly can only be described as a curveball. You know, every like 6 months or so, there's some sort of footage that comes out of Steph chucking a full court shot, and it looks like he's throwing it. It almost looks like he's got a tiny slice in his jump shot, right? Where he's throwing it full court, he makes it, everybody freaks out, and then for the next 48 hours, we're like, is it AI or not? Is that artificial intelligence, or did Steph Curry really just hit that shot? He hit one of those where he was just kind of like on the angle, and like falling out of bounds, off balance, just kind of chucked it up. It looked like, he had a curve on it, knocks it down. He hits a deep logo one, and then like one coming out of the timeout as freaking Houston is making this like defensive run. I think it was out of a timeout, or it was, the ball was inbounded. He basically catches it a foot in front of the logo, and he's like, sure, let's pull from here. So Steph finished this game, man, plays 40 minutes, goes 12 for 19, only took 9 triples, knocked down 5 of them, finishes the game with 31 points, 6 boards, and 3 dimes. I mean, that's a pretty efficient night when you consider like Steph needing to be a volume guy, because like, again, man, one of the things with Golden State, it is Steph Curry, it is Jimmy Butler, and then it is crickets, man. There is not a lot happening outside of those two guys. Podziemski kind of looked lost out there at times. Moses Moody hit a big corner three. I think it was Jabari Smith Jr. got the ball in the corner. It was like an 8-point lead. I think Jabari Smith got it, knocked it down, brought it to 5 or 4. It was one of the other. Looked like Houston might have one more final run in them, and then Moses Moody hit a corner three, and that kind of shut the door. But moving forward, I mean, like, listen, Golden State, 7 seed on the road, underdogs, go in, take game 1, immediately take home court advantage back. Now, even if they let game 2 go, at least they're going back to Golden State tied 1-1. So they should feel pretty good about that. Jimmy Butler only got to the line 6 times last night, finished the game with 25, 7, 6, and 5 steals. He was incredible. Podziemski got to 14, 8, and 5. He was fine, but there was times he just kind of looked like he was running around with his head cut off. And then the bench man, Jonathan Kuminga, once again not making it into the rotation. Poor Mr. Kuminga. You got Looney played some minutes. He got nothing. Guy Santos had 5. You had Buddy had 2. Buddy hit 1 shot, 1 for 4 from the field. Gary Payton was 7. And that's it. Yeah, Kuminga, DNP. Also, I just keep thinking, listen, I know they got the win. I just keep thinking how everybody was like, can you believe the Golden State Warriors added Buddy Hield to their roster? That is going to be a deal breaker, okay? Because Klay Thompson is gone. But Buddy Hield, if you actually look at the numbers side by side, Buddy Hield is actually the same type of three-point shooter that Klay Thompson is. Buddy Hield played 15 minutes, 1 for 4, 0 for 2 from 3. On the Houston side of stuff, let's talk Freddie Van Fucks for a little bit, okay? 10 points, 7 dimes. He took 19 shots, 4 for 19 from the field. That is, God. I took 19 less shots, and Fred VanVleet only made 4 more than me. 2 for 13 from 3. Jalen Green, where are you at, buddy? That's one of the concerns everybody had going into this series, right? If the game is close, nut crunch time, as Bill Simmons would say, who's Houston getting buckets from, right? Who is Jalen Green going to be able to assert himself? We saw him go on runs this regular season, right, where he'd have like a 3-week stretch, 4-week stretch where he's very efficient, getting to his spots. And in this game, he just was kind of running around, honestly, Podziemski-esque with his head cut off a little bit. There were just times he was attacking the basket at like 155 miles an hour, but just with no idea of where he was going, right? Like it was just kind of all over the place. Anyways, Jalen Green, he finishes 3 for 15. So let's do some quick math here. That's 7 for 34. 7 for 34 from the field. And listen, I'm not a big data analytics guy. That might be too bad. That might not be good enough to win basketball games. 7 for 34. Dylan Brooks was out there. We are going to see a Dylan Brooks fight. I just want everybody to know that. We are going to see a Dylan Brooks fight. It's going to be with Draymond Green. Also, Sengun and Draymond got a little buddy in there. But yeah, it's definitely going to get some. It's going to be some Uggo stuff. Todd Packer taking his victory lap after game 1. That's good. This is going to be a long series. Warriors in 4. Todd, put the pipe down, Todd. It's Monday morning. You're too high, Todd. It's going to be a long series. There's going to be a ton of defense in this one. Again, that second half, I really do think Houston figured some stuff out a little bit. And I wonder if we see less Jalen Green. I wonder if we see they were rolling out some crazy lineups where I think they had a 5-man of Amin Thompson, Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr., Tyree Eason, and maybe Dylan Brooks or something like that. They had a crazy 5 out there. But again, I think if the Rockets are able to score over 90 points, they'll win some games. But if you're only getting 85, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. But I'm not freaking out yet. I think I had Houston in 6 or 7. I don't know how elite that defense was. So again, like you look at the second half, man. The Rockets won the second half by 3. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think, again, if you take game 2, it's a different story. I don't think we're going to see a full sweep. I think, again, we'll see a little bit more Steven Adams. Steven Adams played, off the bench. They shrunk it to an 8-man rotation, which is actually kind of interesting considering how many guys Houston played throughout the regular season, right? So you had Tyree Eason played 21 minutes. He was only 3 for 10 from the field. Steven Adams played 20 minutes. Steven Adams was a +4 out there. He had 12 boards, man. The rebounding here, Rockets had 52 boards compared to the 36 of the Warriors. They all rebounded them by, let's quick math, 16. That's 16. The offensive glass, we see Golden State had 6, and we see 22. So that is going to be something that rears its head again. But listen, you score 85 points, you're not going to get a W. You're not going to get a W there. So really good win from Golden State. You know what my real takeaway was of this? I guess we'll just kind of go to Houston and to Minnesota and the Lakers next. I don't want to, overreaction theater. It's only one game. LeBron famously likes to lose game 1. That's his feel out series. Remember when they were on Cleveland for like 3 straight years, everybody was like, that's actually what makes LeBron James different, is that he's comfortable losing game 1. Game 1 is a feel out, and we're just gonna feel everything out a little bit. And that's kind of what we saw from them against the Timberwolves here on Saturday. But I kind of feel like if Timberwolves is gonna play like that, man, you just bring them to the Western Conference Finals now. It's curtains, baby. It's curtains. Let's take a look at that game against the Lakers. And the Lakers just got smoked, man. 117-95. Jaden McDaniels and NAZ REID, real quick. Let's look at these 3-point lines, okay? Jaden McDaniels goes 3 for 3. NAZ REID, say it with me, 6 for 9. Nice from 3, okay? What's that? 9 for 12. They went 9 for 12 from 3. Holy hell. You want some real NBA analysis? Listen, if they're going to go 9 for 12 from 3, they're going to win every single game. That's crazy. That is crazy to get that kind of production. One of the things that we had circled heading into this series was that if NAZ REID is able to assert himself offensively, that is how the Timberwolves win this series. And this is the first time the Lakers have looked as small as they have been. I see Regulator, a resident Hornets fan, along with Manic Otto, said if the Lakers only had a true center. Yeah, Mark Williams. I saw Mark Williams tweeting over the weekend. But yeah, this is the first time they looked too small, man. Rudy Gobert was out there just looking long and strong. You had NAZ REID. Again, Naz was awesome, man. Off the bench, 31 minutes, finished the game with 23, 5, and 2. He was a +13. Look at and NAZ REID, +13 and +9. Let's give Anthony Edwards some love. He had 22, 9, and 8. Went down in the third quarter, I think it was, with some crampies. It looked a little concerning because he went right to the locker room. Must have had a banana and an orange slice and came back out, looked fine. But Ant looked good. The Lakers side of things, man, they just, again, I don't want to freak out too much because they 21 for 42 from 3-point land, dude. They shot 50% from 3. Well, Demby, Boston Celtics numbers. I also was listening to, I think it was Ryan Russillo this morning on the Bill Simmons podcast, and he said that 20 of the 40, or no, 27 of the 42 3-point attempts were uncontested, like wide open. That's a problem. That's a problem. You gotta defend the three. That's another hot take from today. I don't know. I don't know what the Lakers do here differently outside of LeBron maybe being better, moving the ball a little bit. The Lakers just kind of looked shell shocked. They like Luka was awesome. Luka had 14 of the first 20 points in the first quarter for the Lakers, and it looked like he was going to have his way. And then really kind of slowed down. Played 40 minutes in this game. Went 12 for 22 from the field, 5 for 10 from three. He finished with 37 and 8, but only one dime. Only one dime for Luka, and maybe litmus test there would check the wind. If Luka's not getting assists, this is probably bad news for the Lakers. One dime, not going to do it. LeBron with a very quiet game, 19 and 5, was 1 for 5 from three. Austin Reeves, I think, scored 85% of his points in the third quarter. He had 16 and 3. And then like the bench was gross, right? You got 5 from Dalton Connect in garbage time, 3 from Gabe Vincent, 3 from Dodo, Dorian Finney-Smith, and 2 from Vendu. But like, this is not going to get it done. They were up 7. They were up 7 at the end of the first quarter, and then gets outscored 38-20 in the second quarter. Then be Houston Rockets numbers. That's just not going to get it done. This is the only series that I feel pretty bad about my pick so far, is that and again, it's one game. LeBron doesn't like to play game ones. Also, LeBron's 40, maybe we finally start to see the remnants of that. They have game 2, I think, tomorrow night. And it's probably too early to say must win, but if they are going to look as small as they did on both ends of the court, the Timberwolves might just be too young, too fun, too strong. Julius Randle trying to get into it with LeBron. Julius Randle is like Minnesota's Russell Westbrook, man, because it really is like 50-50 of just being the best and the worst. It's just really fun stuff. Todd saying the Wolves are a fake 6 seed. Randle and Dante have been injured a large part of the season. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're a fake 6 seed because they lost a lot of dumb games, and the West is so close. So I think they're all pretty similar here. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Boston base, what's the matter? You just talking about people dying in the chat? Do you think the Pope is going to run the marathon today? But anyways, good win for Minnesota. I'm excited. I'm excited for this series. I'm excited to see if the Lakers have any sort of adjustments heading into game 2, or if Minnesota goes back 2-0, dude, Nico Harrison, he's going to be having a nice little time with himself if that's the case. Also, by the way, Tim McMahon from ESPN, his article just dropped on, what was it, on ESPN, talking about like the fallout between Dirk's camp and Dallas, Luka's camp and Dallas, and the medical staff. And really, it was most of the conversation was around the medical team that left Dallas, and now some of them are with Dirk's foundation, some of them are with the Knicks. And they talked about Derek Lively's injury and how that was handled, Anthony Davis rushing back. Just a lot of drama. But yeah, I'm sure Nico's rock hard, man. Defense wins championships. They only scored 95 points in that game. But anyways, good win for Minnesota. 1-0 there. And so the winner of these two series that we've talked about so far will square off against each other in the second round. And I listen, maybe I'm not giving Houston's defense enough credit, but from what I saw with Golden State, this feels like a round one and done. To me, honestly, Minnesota, through one game anyways, looks like the best team of those 4. And seems to have the highest upside too. The highest upside. So there's some overreaction from our 2-game ones. Let's keep moving. Let's actually just stay in the Western Conference. We'll go through all of them. Let's talk about yesterday's OKC-Memphis game just quickly. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this one because the Grizzlies didn't spend a lot of time with their starters on the court. 131-80. 131-80 here. Listen, look at these numbers. Desmond Bane, a -51. He went 3 for 12 from the field, excuse me. Jaren Jackson Jr. -36. Edey -38. Ja -25. Pretty good game from him. He had 17. Also tied for leading scorer, Marvin Bagley III, baby. 17 and 5 from him. In 16 minutes, too. This was insane, man. I think Ja left the game in the first quarter at 20. It was 21-15 when Ja came out of the game, and I believe when he came back, they were down 30. It was insane. It was insane. Like the swing like that is just incredible. You have Chet Holmgren was super dominant, and again, he only played 21 minutes, man. 21 minutes. He had 19 and 10 with 2 blocks and a steal. J-Dub had 20. SGA had 15 and 5. Like, listen, they're going to be essentially well rested heading into the second round because this is going to be 4 games. This is going to be 4 games, and their starters are going to be averaging like 28 minutes a game. This is just a nightmare matchup. And I know we were on playback, and there were some rumblings like, hey, actually, Memphis kind of matches up okay against them. This is like they're better at every position. The Thunder are better at every position. They can beat you big. Like, oh, well, they have Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. Well, that's fine. Hartenstein was in there, just like shot put in his way, right? Getting into that free throw line, just dropping that in there. He looked great. Aaron Wiggins came in. He looked like he was an MVP candidate the way Memphis plays defense. Memphis is just too shorthanded. They don't have a coach right now. And yeah, let's have a conversation about Triple J here for a second. And Jaren Jackson Jr., when Ja Morant was out, was putting up all NBA numbers. He was really good. And I was impressed with him because he was kind of changing the way that he was playing offensively. He was super aggressive, right? Was able to get to both his left and his right. He could get into the paint and then do that little push shot right there. He was also like consistent enough from 3 that you had to defend it, was showing that he could like initiate offense a little bit. Since Ja has returned, he has really taken a back seat. The aggression is gone. And when you look at this OKC matchup, right, if Memphis is to, I'm not saying for Memphis to win the series. I'm saying for Memphis to not lose by 75 a game, Jaren Jackson Jr. has to be the advantage point, right? Because you have freaking Caruso, Wallace, and Dort Report just swarming around the 2 guards of Ja Morant and Desmond Bane. Those are just tough matchups, especially for Bane. Bane historically against OKC has been locked up. Ja can at least get, like, he missed a couple of bunnies, but Ja can still get by the initial guy, get to his spot. But Jaren Jackson Jr. against Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren should be able to win that matchup. I'm not saying average 30 and 8 because that would mean Jaren Jackson Jr. could get more than 8 rebounds a game, and that's not happening. But you would think offensively he would be able to do a little bit more, and he just legit can't. This is a rough game from him, man. Like, what was he ended up taking 2 for 13, 4 points, 3 boards, 2 dimes, and a steal in 29 minutes, man. That's FIBA Jaren Jackson Jr. Remember the FIBA World Cup 2 years ago? And we're like, where did he go? And they did disappear there. I don't know how Memphis keeps this a series, right? 1 through like 20 in their coaching staff. OKC has the advantage. This should be 4, maybe 5 if like Dagnall's like, maybe we should rest our guys. Maybe we should just rest our guys tonight. Also, hey, I got a pretty hard rule here. If you lose by 50, we move to game 3. You just forfeit a game, man. We need a mercy rule like you have in Little League. If you're down 10 in the 5th inning, yeah, the game's over. Everybody go home. I don't need to see 12 J Huff minutes. I did not know Lamar Stevens was on the Grizzlies. Celtics legend, Lamar Stevens. Regulator said, what did the Grizzlies do during this offseason? No clue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they start selling for pieces, but they have to figure out if they want Ja long term. I think there are pieces there. Like, they did run a little unlucky here with the health of like Vince Williams Jr., who, again, not to be a massive piece, but he kept getting hurt this year. Gigi Jackson couldn't stay up. You had Brandon Clark get hurt, and that they needed Brandon Clark. Maybe Zach Edey develops a little bit more, but yeah, I don't think there's a lot to take away. Clearly Memphis let go of the rope immediately, right? Yeah, dude. Hey, Mathology, good luck advancing any OKC teams, man. This is going to be 4 games where the OKC starters are going to average 26 minutes a game. It's curtains. It's curtains, bro. No, we're not trading Ja for Trae Young. Like, why would Memphis do that? Like, hey, would you like to stay in the play-in game? I mean, that makes Memphis like considerably worse. I don't know why Memphis would do that unless they're just out of the Ja business. Ja to the Magic is a little bit more intriguing. I don't think they would do. I don't think they should trade Ja. I think that would be a little bit of an overreaction unless the front office currently does not think Jaws long term for Memphis, they shouldn't make a move like that. Jaws still really good. Yeah, Jalen Wells top 3. Yeah, I mean he was. Jalen Wells was awesome. I forgot like they're missing him too, and he's their best on ball defender. So I wouldn't like. You know what the real problem is? Not beating freaking a Western Conference team that was like a plus 500 record from January on. Because Memphis had a real shot to be like a seed 4 through 7. At 2 through 7, honestly, they were up in the 2 seed for a little while. And you put Memphis against Houston, Memphis again, and I mean they're not beating Golden State, but we saw in the play-in it was a competitive game. It's just you're playing OKC. And I think at some point, it might not be until they make it to the finals, but maybe people will start taking OKC seriously and see like, well, they're a little bit inexperienced. It's good. They're a legit threat, man. Matty Harrison in the chat. Well, good to see you, sir. Said let's do a 4-team trade with Ja, Trey, Zion, and Sabonis. Just randomly assign them. Yeah, let's get Abby Chin. Let's get at the NBA Top Shot YouTube channel. Let's spin some wheels, baby. Let's spin some wheels, see where they land. All right, we've already talked too much about that. Let's get to the spicy, sexual Western Conference matchup, and that's the Clippers and the Denver Nuggets on Saturday. And I got to tell you, I had a great time watching this game. On Saturday, I had our first softball game of the year. We lost on a walk-off, 12-11. Brutal stuff. I underperformed, guys. I underperformed. I think I got out 3 times the entire season last year, and I got out 3 times in the first game of the year. I'm mad about it. We got to get back in the lab. But the second the game ended, my wife and I got back to Astoria. We went to this great bar called Murphy's, and the place was packed, but not so packed that we couldn't get a spot, and the vibes were great. Everybody was locked into the game. There was a lot of – and even though they were there for the Knicks-Pistons game, which started right after, everybody was locked into this game, and it was a lot of fun. And it just gets me excited. Gets me excited to watch playoff basketball out with people when it's like other fans that are locked in. Anyways, this was the game we watched. It was a great time. Denver gets to win 112-110, and this was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from like 5 different angles. The Clippers come out in the first quarter, and it was just like, hey, guys, remember how everybody's been like the most dangerous team not named the Oklahoma City Thunder in the West is the Los Angeles Clippers? Yes, that is us. We are them. They were incredible. The 2-man game of Harden and Zubac. Zubac was like, hey, man, I made the joke, is Ryan Russillo going to lead the pod? Are Eastern Europeans having a moment? Because Zubac was incredible against Jokic early on. And stat-wise was great. 10 for 15 from the field, missed 3 free throws, had 21 and 13, steal. And, like, listen, he made Jokic work. He made Joker work on the offensive end. I mean, Jokic's line was still insane because he's the best player on the planet. But, like, those were tough shots that he was knocking down. Harden was great in this game, 11 for 22 from the field. He knocked down 4 triples. He had a sit, like Denver was making a run, and he had this sick, like, step back 3 that just like only nylon. And he looked great, man. And 32, 11, and 6. Kawhi, though, like Kawhi was efficient, 9 for 15 from the field, 22 and 6, had 3 steals, but just kind of looked like he hadn't played in a playoff game in a while. He looked a little rusty. There was that weird turnover late in the 4th, where he got the ball in the corner. Jamal Murray pretending to play defense. The ball just kind of went off his elbow and out. But we've already talked about this game too long without talking about Russell Westbrook. Michael Porter Jr. We need to put some emo music to the Porter Jr. drop, because one of them is Kevin Porter Jr., domestic abuser, allegedly. The other one is Otto Porter Jr., retired. And then Michael Porter Jr., who might be retired after this season.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers. Throwing things in buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
MPJ just straight up disappeared. Only played 26 minutes. In those minutes, 1 for 4, only took 4 field goal attempts, had 3 points, 4 boards. Jokic with a 29, 12, and 9 line. Jamal, who like looked to struggle from the field, 7 for 20, 21, 9, and 7. Christian Brown had 11, but it felt like 20. Aaron Gordon was awesome, 25 and 8. Russ had 15 off the bench. However, 15 on 17 shots, not that great. 8 boards. Peyton Watson, Jalen Pickett also squeezed in some minutes. But what ended up happening there was Michael Porter Jr. Just wasn't bringing it on either end. Was not rebounding, was not was not defending, and then was taken out. And they were just like, let's live and die with Russ out there. And Russ, man, like just made some incredible plays and then a couple of dumb plays, right? But he got a big turnover at the end of the game that sealed the W, where he like defended James Harden on the inbound, knocked the ball out of bounds. He hit a big time corner three, maybe one of the biggest shots of the game. He was left wide open, though. It was incredible how open he was. But then we had the same thing where Warriors were up, I think, 2 with like 14 seconds left or something like that. And then he aggressively, it was 14 seconds left, but like 10 on the shot clock or something like that. And instead of killing more time, aggressively attacks the rim. The same exact thing they did in that Minnesota loss. So like it's you live by the Russ, you die by the Russ. There were some great tweets. I think Molly Morrison had a good one that I'm blanking on what it was. Kofi had one that called him the Mario Kart box that you get, right? Like you just never, is it a banana peel, a green turtle, or you're going to get the star? Russ was all over the place. But I like, if you want to go glass half full for the Clippers, are you going to get that Russ performance again? You know, are you going to get Kawhi's malaise? Because the Clippers seemed like they were the better team. I am surprised they lost this game. From start to finish, I kind of thought the Clippers were going to win this game. But if you are on the Denver side of things and you need some positivity here for Denver, I did not think Jamal Murray got locked up. I know Kawhi was on him for a little bit, and that made things difficult. Derrick Jones Jr. and Chris Dunn, those are kind of the 3 defenders that we saw on Jamal Murray. Kawhi actually was covering him in the fourth quarter, which was kind of nuts. But I actually thought Jamal Murray missed bunnies. Like he was getting to his spots. He was getting those shots. Like he was creating separation in space and just was not knocking them down. So if I see that Jamal did not have a great game, I know the stats look good, but 7 for 20 from the field and they still got the W. I don't know. I am like, if I'm the Clippers, that part makes me a little bit nervous. We also know that there's going to be at least one James Harden game where he shits the bed, and it wasn't game 1, right? And I kind of feel, and we're going to pivot to the Eastern Conference here in a second, but I kind of feel similarly about the Clippers as I do about the Pistons, but obviously the Clippers have a better shot here to extend the series and make a difference. Like, that was a game, I think, when you have the road team, the home team on the ropes like that, can snatch home court away from them. Like, okay, let's go back to Houston Golden State for a second. When Houston made that a 3-point game, if Houston comes back and wins that game, yes, of course, you're like, well, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, whatever, this could be a long series. If Houston won that game, there would have been some panic. There would have been some freak out because you're like, wow, you had the home team on the road and you let this one go. And I kind of feel like that is something that the Clippers must be feeling a little bit. And maybe they're mentally tough enough. They clearly have a coaching advantage in Ty Lue, but maybe they're strong enough to be like, listen, we are better than them. We can win this series. But this game is tonight. It's the second game of the slate tonight. I'm very excited about this one. This is the series that I think is the most fun. I think all of these games are going to be very competitive and very close. We've also talked about this game for like 10 minutes without saying that Jokic was insane. 29 points, 12 boards. 9 boards, 12 dimes, had 3 steals and a block. Had to do a little bit of everything. The slowest fast break I've ever seen, BT Dubs, man. Did you like that? I think it was in the third quarter maybe, where he holds it high above his head and then like puts it in. It was crazy. Also, we had Joker and Jeff Van Gundy just like yanking the ball from each other. Also, Jeff Van Gundy, that's some old man fucking YMCA strength. How did Jokic just not rip that away? Unless I missed the angle and there's like 2 guys there. Maybe this is like a Newton's law, some shit. Like based on where he was sitting, like he had a better point of leverage. That was crazy. Adam says, "Why does Memphis suck? I'm a foreigner." It's more that OKC is that much better. I think it's just that OKC is nasty. But anyways, that Denver 1-0. Is anybody still taking the Clippers there, or is this just, hey, Denver has Nikola Jokic, he's the best player in the world, so Denver's going to win the series? I had Clippers in 6 or 7. I can't remember what I said. I don't know. I'm rooting for Denver though. I picked the Clippers, but I love watching Denver play. I just think they're just a mess. I don't know if you're gonna like. This is a lot. 34 minutes is a lot of Russell Westbrook, boys and girls. That's a lot of Russell Westbrook. I think you want Russ at like 26 minutes. But the rebounding thing was something interesting too. Denver had 12 offensive rebounds compared to the 11 of the Clippers, which isn't that big of a difference, but it just seemed like they were getting all of the 50-50 balls. It felt like Denver was a little hungrier. Christian Brown, again, I can't believe he only had 11 points. It felt like he had 25 in that game. Regulator said, will Jeff Van Gundy get a head coaching gig next season? If he wants it, probably. I think people would hire Jeff Van Gundy. I feel like he would have been hired by now if he wanted the head coaching job. But maybe this is like what he wants. I don't know. Yeah, Norman Powell's been rough, man. That was a tough Storm and Norman Powell game. Also, Bogdan Bogdanović, bro, I was pretty excited about Bogey. I thought he might have been an X factor. I don't think he's going to play much, man. Every time he came into the game, insert the GIF right here. Insert that GIF behind the tree, the guy in the yellow suit, right? Because that's what everybody was doing. They were just excited to attack him every single time. Yo, Ben Simmons is crazy too. Like the Simmons stuff is wild. He just, let me get into the paint and let me just like pass. It's just wild. But Norman was 5 for 12 from the field, but it felt like he was MIA considering he played 37 minutes. I didn't really feel like he had an impact. I thought Chris Dunn was pretty good. Defensively, hit 2 of his 5 threes. He's going to be wide open every time. Batum had 9. I think we see some more Batum minutes. I bet Batum's minutes gets closer to 28. I think these minutes, Simmons and Bogey, I just don't think we're going to see a ton. I don't think we're going to see a ton of them. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, excited for game 2 tonight. I'm sure we'll be live on playback for both of those games. I don't know what my schedule is yet because we got a busy day of content. I don't know if I'll have a voice left by tonight. But yeah, very excited for this series. Let's pivot to the Bing Bong Boys of New York, who that was a wild game, baby. The Knicks looked like they might have met their physicality matches. Detroit was just bodying them early. We got a second half Malik Beasley wiggle. We got a little wiggle from Beasley, and then the Knicks said, hey, what if you don't score ever again? They went on, I think it was like a 21-0 run or a 21-3 run. They outscored them by 19. They win by 11, outscored by 19 in the fourth quarter as they dropped 40 on them. This is like the most cliche bullshit of all time, where it's like maybe experience matters. Maybe this is their first time. You need to get your playoff scars. You know what I mean? But that is what it felt like. The Knicks were like, hey, we've been here before, and we're good at playing 40 minutes a game. We're not new to this because Tibbs has us playing 40 all year long. And that's what this looked like. They just shut the faucet off. Cat with one of the most insane passes and then celebrations I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what that was. So he's like up in the air, looks like he's gonna go up for not a layup, but like some sort of midi, and then all of a sudden drops the one hand right, his shooting hand down here, and then like just kind of drops a dime for an easy bucket. Then after it was a great pass by Cat. So then he brings the binoculars out, right? But then closes one eye. Like, is that when it's a scoot? Like, is it you looking at a sniper scope when you close one eye? Is he winking? Is it like, ooh, I see you wink? But he didn't wink. He like held it down like he was that Republican senator or House of Rep, right, with the eye patch. Like I don't know what it was, but it was a great win. Jalen Brunson, I like, man, he was gutsy. He does not look 100%. Jalen Brunson looks like me getting out of bed in the morning every day, where it's just like, oh man, this doesn't feel good. He was doing that after every possession. Finished the game with 34 points, I believe. Let's look at some efficiency numbers. 12 for 27 from the field, 2 for 5, got to the line 10 times, knocking down 8. Yeah, 34 points, 8 dimes from him. OG Anunoby was awesome out there, man. He played some great defense, finished with 23 and 7, took 18 shots, which is a lot, 3 for 8 from 3, but it was the defense on Cade, which we got, I kept saying Cade's going to average 30 because we've seen OG on Cade before. And I don't know, maybe OG was like, I got one more gear in me, baby. Cat was great, carried them in the first half when Brunson was a little dinged up. Cat was doing a lot of work, 23, 11, and 5. Bridges was, whatever. And then Josh Hart's a menace, dude. If you had to say like, hey, make your top five players that might be doing speed. Josh Hart's on that list. Russell Westbrook is on that list. I can't even think of anybody else on that. Like those two guys clearly just feel like, again, I'm not saying they're on speed, but if you had to pick somebody on speed, it's them. He plays crazy. 13, 7, and 6. Well, we got a campaign game. Drop 14 points facing the wrong direction. It's incredible, man. It's like He looked, again, I've said this before. Picture a baseball player in the batter's box facing the pitcher. That's the direction he faces, but then shoots this way. It's insane. It's an insane. I can't believe it. I can't believe he's playing minutes. He seems to have usurped Deuce McBride's role. Good. Yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah, let's talk a little beef stew here because if there's like one thing to fix here with Detroit, it's Jalen Duren, man. Jalen Duren was ass. Only played 25 minutes in this game. He was a -20. He was a -20. Beef stew was in there, got physical. Tobias Harris, let's give him a little love, even though he kind of disappeared in the second half. He had 25 and 6. Cade finished with 21 and 12, but 8 for 21 from the field. Beasley gave him 20 off the bench, knocking down 6 triples. Schroeder with 8 and 3. But yeah, Beef Stew was a +8 out there and only didn't really do shit offensively, right? 2 points, 5 boards, 2 blocks, and a dime. But he seemed to be much more comfortable and ready for the moment. Duren was lost. And one of the X factors of this series was how are they going to defend Karl Anthony Towns? Because even though the Pistons were one of the best teams at rim protection in the regular season, Cat's not like your normal big. Cat can stretch outside. And again, Cat was great in this game. I know it doesn't look like that because his stats aren't insane, but the way he carried them in the first half while Brunson was hobbling around there was pretty impressive. But similarly to we were just talking about with the Clippers and the Nuggets, I think this is tough, man. This series probably goes 5 now. I think it's hard to bounce back from losing a game like that where you clearly were up 8 in the fourth quarter on the road, game 1. It was in your hands and you just let it slip. And I think it's going to be a tough spot to come back from. Now, that being said, Detroit is very, very physical. And, Cade is probably not going to go 8 for 21 from the field again. And maybe Detroit shows up tonight and punches somebody while Cade knocks down threes. And then all of a sudden we're 1-1 going back to Detroit. And then everybody is playing this.
Detroit basketball! Detroit basketball! Detroit!
So we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's go back to the 4-5 matchup where the Pacers beat the hell out of the Bucks. They beat 117-98. Bucks kind of made it interesting by cutting the lead from 20 to 12 at one point, and it was here comes Milwaukee. And you know what? They didn't. They did not come. No one came. Do not come. 117-98. I think what's most impressive about this win for Indiana is that Halliburton was bad. Halliburton finished 10, 12, and 7. 0 for 7 from 3, 3 for 13 from the field. Nembhard carried the torch for the guards there, 17, 5, and 4. Look at these numbers though. Siakam +28, Turner +24, Hallie +27, Nembhard +23. Starters just ran the Bucks off the court. Obviously no Damian Lillard, and you know what? No Kyle Kuzma. You want to talk about MIA? It's actually disrespectful to say other players have been MIA and then put them in the same category as Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma, cardio king. 22 minutes, 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 0 for 2 from the line, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 swag, -24. Giannis had 36 and 12 in this game. And you want overreaction theater? Sure. This is Pacers in 5, and I'm pissed at myself for switching my my pick to saying Pacers in 7. I got a little freaked out by Damian Lillard coming back. Honestly, you could argue that Damian Lillard had a bigger impact than Kyle Kuzma in game 1 because Damian Lillard at least yelled at somebody. Dame, I did not know was on the bench, got a technical foul, was wearing a fun little sweater. Him and Halliburton hate each other. If you guys forget the NBA Cup 2 seasons ago where the Bucks and Pacers squared off in the semifinals, Pacers ended up beating the Bucks. Hallie hit Dame with his own celebration, which I think is good. That's the right way to talk shit. Forget the too small. Hit them with their own celly. That's why people should start lobbing grenades at Ja Morant. Grenades in close range. I think the Pacers are going to be too much. Now, maybe we get word that Dame is back for game 2, which I believe is tomorrow night. My guess is we don't see Dame until game 3. So there's a lot of pressure on Milwaukee because now if they lose game 2, they have to win 4 out of 5. And I just don't think they have the talent to do this because even if you add Dame to this roster, yes, obviously adding a fringe all-NBA guy back into a team is very good. But you're still playing Taurean Prince, Kyle Kuzma, Ryan Rollins, Chris Livingston. I'm sorry. I think Chris Livingston only played in garbage time. Yeah, 1 minute. Gary Trent Jr., Kevin Porter Jr., AJ Green. Like, I think this is a short series. The Pacers are actually good, because you're not going to get a shooting game like that from Hallie again. Also, Siakam looks pretty good, pretty aggressive. And give Hallie a little bit of credit of being like, hey, I don't have it tonight, so let's feed Spicy P. But he finished with 25 and 7. Turner did the most Turner line of all time, 19 and 5, hit a couple of threes, 4 threes actually, and had 4 blocks. From the bench, Benny gave him 13. TJ gave him 11 and 5. Anyways, good win for the Pacers. Yeah, Kyle Kuzma is the real MVP. I'm with you. Let's keep going in the Eastern Conference. Only 2 series left to get to. Miami made it fun for a little bit. Cleveland won 121-100. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Ty Jerome, who's going to finish third in Sixth Man of the Year. Ty Jerome was awesome in this game. They Heat just don't have enough, man. You know who they need? Jimmy Butler. Darius Garland knocks down 5 triples. He was great, 27 and 5. Spida gave him 35 and 4. Also added 4 steals. Didn't need much from Mobley. He had 9 and 7. Jared Allen had 12 and 11. And then Ty Jerome, 28, 5 and 3. And this kind of goes back to what the problem has been for Miami outside. Oh, yeah. Hey, Stan, congrats, dude. Congrats, man. Find the W wherever you can. Well, at least Bam Adebayo outplayed Evan Mobley in our 21-point loss, so it's actually not that bad. Congrats, Stan. This is just too much. They have no, outside of Davion Mitchell, who is obviously a dog as a defender, but now you're requiring Davion Mitchell to play offense. So he's using a lot of his energy on the offensive end, and now you have this 3-guard squad of Spida, Donovan, and Ty attacking Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and whatever other garbage the Heat are throwing out there. They combined, I'm going to try to do this math as fast as I can, 95 points. 95 points from their guards. Is that right? 58 plus 27? No, that's wrong. 85 points from their guards. That's better. 80 for the, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Miami, Tyler Hero was pretty bad in this game. 7 for 18 from the field, finished with 21 and 3, but only 2 assists. Bam, 24, 9 and 3. He was solid. Wiggins had 14 and 6. Khalil Ware was looking like a rookie out there. Had 2 blocks, 2 points. That's it. You get 18 and 9 from Davion Mitchell. Honestly, Davion has been a bright spot for Miami. He's been pretty good. Sacramento, did Sacramento just let him go or trade him? I can't even remember. I can't even remember if that was a trade or not. But yeah, Davion, a dog. Cleveland's going to win this in maybe 5, probably 4. Cleveland's really good. It was good to see the Cavalanche there with Ty Jerome just getting hot. Also, really funny moment. Ty Jerome basically getting to the line, getting to the rim, knocking down threes, has a big moment. Cleveland makes a stop. They get the ball back up. Clearly, it's heat check time for Ty Jerome. And then Sam Merrill takes a shot, and you could just feel even Borland got mad in the chat. Everybody's like, come on, man, it's Ty Jerome time. But good win for Cleveland. Let's do the last series of the night. And this is, I have a little nitpick here with the Celtics. All right. They win 103-86. Listen, Boston, you cannot be a defending champion, title, or at least an Eastern Conference favorite, along with the Cavs, and have Celebrity Row consist of Angel Reese, who is there for allegedly dating Wendell Carter Jr. on the Orlando Magic, Bradley Chubb, who plays for the Miami Dolphins, Catherine something, who is a state rep. I'm sorry, political figures do not count as celebrities, a celebrity row. You don't get credit for that. Keon Wright, who is, I follow the Patriots. I don't know who that is. We didn't have a Wahlberg. We didn't have a Damon. We didn't have an Affleck. We didn't have, I said Affleck like it's the Duck. I would have accepted the Duck in Celebrity Row. Where's the new kids on the block? Let's put the LFO, the surviving member of LFO. Let's put him down there. Let's get somebody from the Middleborough Little League World Series team from 96 or whatever year that was. That's embarrassing work here. All right. The New York Knicks have celebrities in the grandstand section of Madison Square Garden that are bigger than what the Celtics threw out there. That was embarrassing. We're all Irish Catholics going to be home for Easter. Come on. I don't want to hear it. That was embarrassing stuff from Boston. Boston looked pretty good here. Orlando actually had a 1-point lead heading into halftime, but I don't think at any point anybody was like, oh, maybe Orlando. The most boring analysis. What's LFO? Are you kidding me? New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick. Come on. Wake up, dude. Grow up, regulator. Paulo Banchero and Franz combined for 59 points, 10 shy of nice. Paulo was awesome, and this was going to be the take all season, all playoff series long, where Paulo and Franz will get theirs, and they'll lose by 15 because it's just they don't have enough, man. They don't have enough. Corey Joseph played 26 minutes. That's 25 too many. Paulo was great, though, 36, 11, and 4. Franz was really hot in the first quarter. I think he had like 14 in his first 2 rotations. Finished the game with 23, slowed down in the second half. They got a total, dude, look at this. Their second leading scorer was Jonathan Isaac their third leading scorer was Jonathan Isaac with 7 off the bench. Wendell Carter Jr., Corey Joseph, and KCP, 3 of the starting 5 combined for 10 points. The Celtics defense came out there towards the end. Tatum and Jaylen Brown, look at this shit. They combined for, 36? They combined 14 for 36 from the field. 17 and 14 from Tatum. Tatum, it looked like got an MRI. Google it, though. Google it. They combined for no, I'm sorry. Tatum had an X-ray after the game after KCP and Wendell Carter Jr. Tatum went to attack the rim. KCP, WCJ knocked him down. They called a flagrant. I thought it was a little Bush League flagrant. I didn't think it should have been a flagrant. Just let the boys play. Then Tatum was tough from the line too, 0 for 4. But again, yes, Orlando is tough defensively. It makes sense that this was a grit and grind matchup, trademark Memphis Grizzlies. But Derek White, 30 points, man. Orlando, the best defending team against the three-point shot, and Derek White was like, well, what if I go 7 for 12? White and Peyton Pritchard combined for 49 points. That was great stuff from them. Great stuff. Drew Holiday hit a couple of big threes. Celtics just came out, had a 30-18 quarter in the third, and that kind of just cut curtains. That was it. That was it right there. And it was over. And then they won by 6 in the fourth quarter as well. I think there's a couple of things. Yeah, they're from New Bedford, Massachusetts. A couple of things for the Celtics moving forward that, just to keep an eye on. Is Tatum okay? That's one. Jaylen Brown's knee. I would say, for the most part, it looked okay. Had a big dunk late in the game after Westbrook was like, I don't see the lift. He threw it down. He does seem like he's a little bit, I would say, let's do some Bill Simmons stuff. I would say Jaylen Brown's knee, 82%. I don't think it's 100% there. The good news is, because they're up big, they don't have to, especially in this series, I don't think it's going to be super competitive. Similarly to the Oklahoma City Thunder, Jaylen Brown is probably going to be playing 25 to 28 minutes a game, and they can rely a little bit more heavily on their bench in these situations. So Celtics go up 1. Yeah, body language doctor, he was good. I felt good about the Celtics W there. Orlando, this is exactly what I expect. I think if you're Orlando, you're just trying to play tough games here so that you can build off of this into next season. I know this feels like a step back after finishing the 5 seed last year and losing in 7 of the first round of the Cavs. But, no Jalen Suggs. They desperately need to get guard play. They need to get some better guard play. So it's tough. And yes, jump shoot, I will. I'm going to be the young Pope. Right? The Young Pope, is that on HBO, right? The Young Pope. Shout out the Young Pope. That's it, baby. That is the entire first round, and we did it in under an hour, which is good because we got a busy rest of the day. So if you just tuned in, couple of things here. Right after this show ends, we're jumping on Elite Fantasy Sports because in Boston, it's Marathon Monday, kid. Happy Patriots Day, brother. The MLB slate locks in an hour and 15 or whatever. So we're going to go right there, do SORARE MLB live before lock. And then for you SORARE NBA freaks, Splash Sports Fantasy Basketball, we're going to, at 3 o'clock, go live on that channel again to break down tonight's slate and tomorrow's slate. We'll do 2 days at a time, 2-a-days. And then at 5 p.m. on the Count the Dings YouTube channel, we're going to be doing Hoop Sense live as well. So go check in on that as well. And then we'll also have a new Celtics Daily show drop today. If you're not subscribed to the Celtics Daily, go check that out if you are a Celtics fan. That should be dropping, I think, in an hour or so. This is, LFO. I wasn't kidding. When I said surviving member, I wasn't kidding, man. I loved LFO. Summer girls. LFO, bro. They grew up not too far from my hometown. So we were one with LFO. One of them was from New Bedford, or maybe they all were from New Bedford. Shout out New Beige, baby. I think that's it. We're, again, NBA Bit Monday through Friday. Excited that we're here for the playoffs. I'm sure we'll have some playback tonight. Oh, Splash Sports. Go check out the Splash Sports contest. I don't have the link ready, though, so I can't share it, but it's live. If you're over on Splash Sports, go check it out. We got 22 entrants already in a 100 100-person field. So get in there. We've been cooking over on Splash. We got a big W on Saturday. That was fun. More Ben Folds. Yeah, listen, I love Ben Folds too. I love Ben Folds. Rocking the suburbs, just like Quiet Riot did. All right, I gotta go drink some water and pee before the next show starts here in 5 minutes. Appreciate everybody tuning into the NBA bit. The playoffs are here. You know what was the best? Not once did we talk about Kyle Filipowski, Damian Ball, Bub Carrington. Good basketball outside of the Memphis Grizzlies, that is, outside of the Grizzlies. But 2 games tonight, a little bit more digestible. If you're only here for the bit, we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. We are out.